In this video, we will see how to easily install Python and Visual Studio Code. You will see it only takes a few steps and a few minutes, allowing us to access to this very widely used development environment. It is currently the most popular development environment in the world, used for many languages, including Python. So to begin, we will first install Python, because we need the programming language installed before we can use it in Visual Studio Code. So let's go to the official Python page. Click on Downloads, and here you should see a yellow button offering to download the latest version of Python for your operating system. Since I'm on Windows, it suggests downloading Python for Windows. I can see that they are proposing me the version 3.11 of Python, but by the time you watch this video, there may be a newer version, like 3.12, 3.13. You can just download the version displayed on your screen without any issues. So let's click on Download Python. The .exe file starts downloading. Let's wait for it to download. Alright, so it's done on my side. And once it's downloaded, we can launch the executable file. So we have this window that is appearing. Here it's very important. Check the box add python.exe to path. So this is a small option related to what we call environment variables. I highly recommend checking this box, as it might not work properly if you don't. Then let's click on Install Now. Click Yes and wait for the installation. Once the installation is complete, we get the message setup was successful, so the installation went correctly. We can click on this option, Disable Path Length Limit, because on some operating systems, particularly Windows, there is a limit on the length of path for accessing a file. If your path exceeds 260 characters, it might be impossible to navigate through such a long path and retrieve a file at the end. This situation rarely occurs, but to be safe, we can click here, then click Yes, and it's done. We can click on Close, and now Python is installed on your computer. Next, we will install Visual Studio Code. Now that we have the Python programming language on your computer, we need a development environment. Basically, a software that will allow us to easily write and execute Python code. And for that, we're going to use Visual Studio Code. So let's search for Visual Studio Code. Click on the first link and then click on Download. You can select your operating system. Again, since I'm on Windows, I choose Windows, and then we can see that it starts downloading. Let's wait for it to download. Alright, it's done on my side for the download of VS Code. Once it's done, similarly, click on the .exe file. It will launch. Then here we can click on I accept the agreement, then Next. You can change the installation folder if you wish, but I'll continue clicking Next, leave it as default, click Next again, and it's installing. Perfect, so the installation was very quick. It will launch and will land on this window. So you can close the welcome window if you want. You can change the theme to either a white background with different colors or a black background with higher contrast. I recommend keeping the default theme, which is dark and modern, to avoid eye strain. You can now close this window. Now, before we start coding, let's install two extensions to facilitate programming in VS Code. So click on the extension button here. Then install the Python extension, which is the first one. Click on Install, it's very quick. And once it's installed, we can install another extension called Code Runner, which will add a button to easily execute Python code. So click on Install, again it's very quick. Once done, you can close these two windows. I recommend closing and reopening VS Code to ensure all extensions load correctly. Do this just once after installing the extensions. Now, let's test a Python code to see if everything works correctly. So we can create a new Python file by going to the top left. Let's click on New File and select Python file. You can write here anything. I will type print hello world, the typical first code when learning a new programming language. Let's save the file by pressing Ctrl S. Save it on the desktop, for example. Name it test and click save. Now the file appears on the desktop as test.py. Now execute it by clicking on the Run Code button. And you should see the text Hello World in the console. Perfect! So that was all for this video. We saw how to install Python, Visual Studio Code, and some extensions to make writing Python code easier.